Years ago, there was a very popular program on television. The host was Eamon Andrews, and they would do research on such and such a well-known person and take him by surprise, even put him in a taxi and bring him to the studio, and then a book would be presented to him, and Eamon Andrews would say, "This is your life." And in that program they would present human beings from earlier incarnations, so to speak, and sometimes the tears would flow. The Apocalypse talks about the book of life, and indeed he talks about these other books that were opened in which the works of the souls were writ. But the big question was their name found in the book of life? And if it wasn't, they ended up in this other place, described in graphic terms. The word abyss means a bottomless place in Greek, and it comes through as the bottomless pit in the old translation. There's reference also to a lake of fire. It's not good company, and those who get there must wonder how they got themselves into such a mess for such a long time. As one American said, "We're dead a long time." And so it's important that one makes sure that one's name is written on the book of life, and that these books of time, the volumes and archives that we write day by day, are slightly okay to make sure that we are. We priests know how important it is that the person, when making the last confession, be lucid and aware. It's too easy to just give the sacraments to a person who is no longer there mentally and hope for the best. Preparation for death happens throughout life, not just in the last moments. What better preparation is there than actually, strangely enough, a pandemic? We are invited to simplify things, do less and think more. Maybe we needed it as a humanity. There are places where that has always happened. I was deeply moved when, with my parents, in school days, I went to Meteora in Greece. There, I heard, as it were, the prayer of the centuries, away from time, and it happened to be the 6th of August. It was a Sunday, and it was the Feast of the Transfiguration, and there being no Catholic church anywhere nearby, I went to the Eastern Orthodox celebration, which began very early, went on for 3 hours. And I was immersed for those 3 hours in clouds of incense and otherness. And then when I got to the top of the mountain and went to the little chapel of one of the monasteries, I heard the sound of silence and sensed the depth of prayer and understood the meaning of the verse. He took them to a high place apart. And what happens there? One looks into the eyes of the teacher, and one opens the sacred scriptures, because I carried a Bible with me throughout that month on the continent, and the word would talk loudly. It was actually a red letter Bible, one that my mother gave me as a present, and the words of the Lord were in red, and so it was enough to let him speak through the energized words in red. The Alpha and the Omega, who loves to have those places of silence where heaven and earth meet. come here apart and rest a while. He took them to a high place apart. And so it is that if we want to risk the damage of our state, we need to make sure that we have places apart. And that means without a bleep. That means sometimes without anyone at all but the Alpha and the Omega, who cannot get through to his creatures because something else is more important and louder and clearer. C'era un programma anni fa, il titolo era "Questa è la tua vita". Si faceva ogni settimana un programma sulla vita di una persona conosciuta alla sua insaputa, cioè lo pescavano là dove era, lo mettevano in un taxi e lo prendevano così come era nello studio e mettevano davanti a lui un libro, "Questa è la tua vita", e uscivano fuori dal niente persone della sua vita ancora vive. Era commovente. Forse sarà così quando si apre il libro della vita alla fine dei tempi, e lì la domanda è: si trova o no il tuo nome lì dentro? Abbiamo purtroppo questo alternativo, lo spazio nero tenebroso, questo pozzo senza fondo di cui parla l'Apocalisse oggi. Eternità è lunga, quando si pensa che uno avrebbe potuto meritare la beatitudine con una frazione di tempo che è la vita. Quelle anime lì per tutta l'eternità pensano: che cosa avrei combinato per tutta l'eternità con l'abuso del tempo che una sola volta fu dato. Per prepararci dunque ci vogliono spazi, e forse questo momento di tristezza mondiale, la pandemia, è un'occasione anche provvidenziale per frenare questa frenesia dell'umanità e metterci un po' a parte. Cristo è l'Alfa e l'Omega, e sono anche spazi in cui è favorito l'incontro, geograficamente la separazione, monasteri a parte, anche per noi, cappelle tranquille. Ogni giorno l'Alfa e l'Omega ha bisogno di spazio sacro, in cui non c'è neanche possibilità di messaggio elettronico. La sua voce è dolce, non esiste, però non manca di generosità quando noi facciamo la nostra parte. Facciamola, dando ogni giorno un momento opportuno per ascoltare questa voce tenera che un giorno tornerà anche come giudice.
Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus.